welcome to SK Tiwari Study IQ. I am Pragati Tiwari, basic nursing first year first sem student. Today I am discuss about blood pressure, its physiology and regulation. What is blood pressure? Definition of blood pressure. It is the force of moving blood against arterial walls. Maximum blood pressure is exerted on the walls of arteries when the left ventricle of the heart contracts and pushes blood through the aortic valve into the aorta in the beginning of stole. Second definition is blood pressure is a measure of force that heart uses to pump blood in the body. Then type of blood pressure. First is systolic blood pressure, second is diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure. The highest pressure created during ventricular contraction is known as systolic pressure. Normal systolic blood pressure is 120 mm of Hg. Diastolic blood pressure, when the heart rests between the beats, the pressure drops and is known as diastolic blood pressure. Normal diastolic blood pressure is 80 mm of Hg. One another type of blood pressure is pulse pressure. Pulse pressure is difference between systolic and diastolic pressure. Normal pulse pressure is 80 mm of Hg. Then we will discuss about physiology of blood pressure. First, arterial wall contain elastic tissue that allow them to stretch and distend as blood enters with each ventricular contraction. Second is when the heart rests between each beat. रेस्ट करता है जब हार्ट दो बीट्स के बीच में the walls of the artery return to their original position. ठीक है. Although pressure in them does not drop to zero. Third is arteriole offer resistance to the pressure of the blood and keep the blood entering the capillaries in a continuous flow rather than in spurts. Therefore, the elasticity of the arterial wall, in addition to the resistance of the arteriole, help to maintain the normal blood pressure. Fourth one is with increased age, the walls of arteriole become less elastic, which interferes with their ability to stretch and dilate. This can subsequently limit adequate blood flow and contribute to rising pressure within the vascular system. Next is regulation of blood pressure, means how to regulate blood pressure. Although blood moves through the circulatory system from areas of higher pressure to areas of lower pressure. ठीक है, ब्लड जो होता है हाइयर प्रेशर से लोअर प्रेशर की ओर फ्लो करता है. ब्लड प्रेशर इज रेगुलेटेड by various short term and long term mechanisms. Short term regulation of blood pressure. The mechanism for short term regulation of blood pressure are primarily neural and humoral. These mechanisms correct temporary changes in pressure that occur during activities such as changing position and exercising. The neural centers for regulation of blood pressure are located in the brain and are known as cardiovascular center. Humoral regulation. It is also help to regulate blood pressure. Epinephrine. It is released by the adrenal gland to increase heart rate and contractility, thus increase cardiac output. ये हो गया हमारा शॉर्ट टर्म रेगुलेशन ऑफ ब्लड प्रेशर. अब देखेंगे हम लॉन्ग टर्म रेगुलेशन ऑफ ब्लड प्रेशर. फर्स्ट वन इज these mechanisms regulate extracellular fluid volume through the kidneys. They function by regulating blood pressure for an individual person's equilibrium point. Second one is arterial pressure rises when the body contains too much extracellular fluid in In response, increased amount of sodium and fluid are exerted, excreted by the kidneys to return the blood pressure to the person's equilibrium point. Third one is when blood pressure decreases due to extracellular fluid, the opposite effect occurs. Thank you, guys.